My name is TylerDessell. I'm 28 years old, and this is my story. I was born Green Bay, no disabilities, everything was cool. I was normal, running around, jumping like everybody else. And then one day, I woke up, pressed my alarm clock, went to get ready for work, bent down to grab socks out of my bottom dresser drawer. Life changed like that. Hit the ground. Couldn't move. I could feel my blood rushing through me. Just being electrocuted. It was nothing like I've ever felt before. I've been ran over. I've been tased. I've had my hands burnt off in a fire before. I had to, go through all of that. I know what pain is. This was nothing like I've ever felt before. Something was wrong. My fiance at the time heard me hit the ground. She came running upstairs. I told her, you need to start the car. I need to go to the hospital. Something's wrong. She runs downstairs to go start the car. I knew I needed to get to the bed. I don't remember getting myself there, but I got myself there. She came back up, and I told her, I'm not going to be able to make it to the car. You need to call 911. At this point, I'm kind of going in and out of consciousness. I'm not doing too good. I'm still being electrocuted from the inside out, and I'm screaming. The paramedics, they had to come in and wrap me up in a blanket and carry me down the stairs. And I can remember my 5-year-old daughter, peeking around the door frame, looking in, wondering what's going on. And she's crying. I'm crying. Everybody's worked up. I can remember waking up on the emergency room table at Aurora, and the nurses are going, oh, I think he might be having a heart attack. And then another nurse is going, oh no, I think he had a stroke. Or another one's going, he might have had a seizure, and I got all these things hooked up to me, and I don't know what's going on. I just remember this isn't good. Am I dying? Is this it for me? And just remember trying to stay awake, but then I can just remember feeling really good. And I just couldn't keep my eyes open anymore. And going to sleep. And when I came to, I was in the ICU, and I had all these things coming out of me, and nurses coming in and out of the room. And I can remember my the fiance at the time sitting next to me. And like I said, she was 9 weeks pregnant at the time. She was scared. She was a trooper, though. She never left my side. They couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. Kind of my fault, though. I had a BB in my face from a previous accident a couple years past. I had a metal BB in my face right about here, and they couldn't put me in an MRI because it would have either pushed the BB in farther or pulled it out of my face, which would have been bad. So they had to do a surgery and cut me from here down and flip all of this back and pull the BB out. I kept the BB, by the way. It's a good conversation piece. So I was in Aurora for like a month before they could really do any real testing on me. I can't move right now at this point. The only thing that really works is my head, my neck, and this arm. This arm's chicken winged up here. And you could pull it back and it'll smack you back. It stayed right here for a long time. You can kind of, that's the way that kind of sits now. Paralyzed, like completely. Nothing worked. I couldn't pee. I couldn't poop. I couldn't do anything. The therapist had come in, poked me with little needles and like toothpicks and stuff on my feet. or tickle me with little feathers and stuff, or try to, and can you feel this? No, So I couldn't feel anything. But they'd come in, trying to get me motivated and keep me motivated, but they didn't know if I was ever going to walk again. Well, not walking wasn't going to be a thing. I have a pregnant fiance, 9 weeks, and I got a 5-year-old daughter at home. I'm going to play with my son, play with my daughter. I'm going to walk her down the aisle. Like, that's a thing. That's not walking's not an option. I had to stay motivated for that. And that's what kept me going. That's what got me going again, was them. It's degrading, going from walking and being normal to not being able to do anything for yourself. I don't care how strong of a man you are, how confident you are, that sucks. That really messes with your whole self-esteem, your brain, your everything. Life flipped right upside down. I remember going for one of them little walks with my fiance pushing me around in the wheelchair just to get me out of my room for a little bit. Came back to the room and they're all gowned up and they're packing up all my stuff and they're telling me that, you need to call your family and say your goodbyes because we can't help you here. You're being shipped out of here to Madison. When I had first gotten to Madison, I woke up and I was in the ICU. And then that next morning was when I met Dr. Neiman for the very first time. He is the head surgeon, the best surgeon for this type of situation, if you want to call it that. He did a couple of tests on me, did more MRIs, and then he came back and he had told me that what I have is called an AVM. It's a tangled web of blood vessels that you're born with, and all of a sudden they just burst at any given time. Most people, they find it when they're young, but I had no clue that I had mine. I had MRIs from here down and here up, but nobody ever got a clear image of my neck before. Otherwise, in the past, they would have found it. When the AVM burst, all those blood vessels burst, it created like a pimple on my spinal cord. That's what caused all the paralysis. In between the C4 and the C7 is what mainly controls my right side. Well, everybody's right side. And to this day, that's why the right side of my body is still not all that great. As you can see, I have a lot of muscle dystrophy through here. I can't exactly move my hand like everybody else can. I can thumbs up people real good though. If the AVM would have been a ½ inch higher or lower, it would have shut down my whole respiratory system completely and I would have died. Once they found out that I had the AVM and they figured out how they could kind of treat it, they started sticking me on a bunch of steroids. A lot of steroids right away, a lot of muscle relaxers, trying to get everything to loosen up and start moving again. I started to learn how to walk again. And from the wheelchair that I was sliding myself in, I got up to a walker. Meanwhile, I still had the catheter and other things hooked up to me, but I was moving. To me, that was amazing. I never thought I was going to do that again. They made me special braces for my foot in the beginning. So they made me a brace that kept my foot like that, and that helped. They taught me how to start going up and down stairs a little bit, and I just kept getting that a little bit better every day. I had to get myself to a certain point of healthiness and walking again before they could do the surgery that Dr. Neiman wanted to do, which consists of going in on both sides of my groin. One was kind of like a glue stick and one was like another camera. They were going to fish their way through my blood vessels all the way up into my neck and glue off the ones that had burst and reduce the pressure and reduce the swelling, and in the end result, hopefully I wouldn't stroke out again. There was like a 90% chance that it wouldn't happen again if I got all these surgeries done. They had to put a bunch of needles in my head and all over my body and my legs, the bottoms of my feet, and they hooked me up to the machine to make sure what they were gluing off wasn't gonna make me a quadriplegic, like, for good. When I woke up, I was back in a wheelchair again, and it kind of messed with my self-esteem. Well, when they released me from Madison, they sent me to St. Vincent's inpatient therapy. They taught me how to go upstairs. They taught me how to get in and out of a car. They taught me how to eat, brush my teeth again, absolutely everything that I needed to be able to go home. And that was my main goal at that moment. I didn't want to be in a hospital anymore. I didn't want to be in that environment, looking out that window and seeing people come and go and walking around and doing normal things that I couldn't do anymore. Sucked. Being stuck in a bed with tubes coming out of you that hurt, mind you, and you're on like bed alarms, and you're not allowed to get up without having a belt around you and 3 people helping you to the bathroom. It sucks, just the whole self-esteem, watching, just not being able to even go outside, watching the trees blow, and you can't feel it anymore. I couldn't feel anything yet at this point. I couldn't feel people touching me, and when I did feel something, it was just pain. It was like being electrocuted every time. It sucked. And it was really hard on Sadie, my ex-fiance, because every time she'd go to give me a hug, she felt like she was hurting me. And I mean, honestly, it really did, but, I didn't mind the hug. Just enjoy the little things. Because life can change at any moment. Any second. You never know.